And I am itching to ask you about all the people featured on FT. Because obviously it's a 13-track album, but you have got with a dot. You have got a different person on each track that features with you. Let's just talk about some of these people, because obviously we've got a short time. I'd love to talk for hours about this album, because I think it justifies what you've done and the effort that's put into this record as well, because you've featured so many great people. But should we start with Crystal Waters? She's on the first track, Testify.
Well, Testify, I kind of came up with this idea of doing a very, because there's two ways you can start an album. You can start an album with a very conceptual journey of a track, or you could start an album with a just complete, here we go, foot on the pedal, And and it's kind of funny because the rest of the albums actually, each track's they're quite long. Some of the tracks are like 10 minutes long, 7 minutes long, whereas, Crystal's is 3.5 minutes. And my idea was just start the album with a 7-inch, put the needle on the record, and it's got a fade. That was important. And that was even before the song was written. I was like, it's got to have a fade. Total fade, bang, here we go. And then we can start going on that kind of more winding journey. So that word's going to be used a lot, isn't it?
Wish I never said it now. God.
I've been speaking about this album for the last month or so, and that word crops up. But it is a journey. It's a journey through it's kind of like me curating an art show. Crystal, I've always loved her voice. I always think Crystal's voice is very reminiscent of those classic independent 7-inch record labels from America, those kind of soul records, which we know of in this country as Northern Soul. That very kind of not the kind of majors like Tamla Motown and all that, but the more kind of like smaller independent soul labels.
And she's quite a diverse artist as well, because I think a lot of people just know her from Gypsy Woman. Obviously, was the big track that she had, one of the big tracks.
She has totally an amazing house singer, an amazing house vocalist. But I just had this idea about doing something that was like a kind of like mixture of like an old soul record mixed with acid house, mixed with kind of like a mixture of lots of different things. And I came up with the piano and the beats and all this, told her the ideas and all this, and she came up with the top line on top. And I remember the first time I heard her sing the part on top, it was just completely like, wow, this is right. It's kind of bad to say pop song, because people, I think these days people have this real kind of hatred towards pop because there's so much.
People are snobby about pop, definitely.
There's a real snobbery about pop, but what does pop mean? It just means popular.
Well, it means popular, which is weird, isn't it? When you think about the snobbery that's attached to it, why are you snobby about popular? It's
a soul record. I kind of look at it as like that classic 7-inch soul record that we've all got in our record collections, and I wanted to do something like that, but a very modern version, and also like I love the idea of incorporating the kind of acid housey, kind of twisted dubby vibe to it as well, and I think we should come up with something quite original. But it's kind of one of those records when people hear it, they think that they know it already, which is a great sign, because I've only been involved. I've been involved in a lot of records in my time, but I remember when I wrote Divine Thing with the Soup Dragons, which was like a very successful record, especially in America. I always used to get that. People would say, God, it feels like you know that record in the first place. And I think you only manage to write these things now and then in your life, because that track was played on radio by Animatronic, like it was last month. And it was just like this one place. She asked me, "Can I play it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, play it."
And if you're getting the seal of approval from Animatronic, that's not a thing to complain about, is it? That's a pretty good start.
Me and Anna are like good friends, and she asked me, she goes, "Can I play it? Can I play it?" And I'm like, "It's not out for months." She's, "Oh, just come in, let me play it." And she played it, and the reaction was just unbelievable. I was getting messages from people I don't even know. I got a message from a dentist asking me to use it in his commercial for his dental practice.
If the money's right, then do it.
No, but he was kind of like, he actually wrote, "This is the best record I've heard in 10 years.
That's great. That's what you want, isn't it? That's the kind of feedback you want.
Yeah, I was just blown away by
What strikes me about this, not just having heard this album, but also just looking at the back and looking at the people that are featured on there, it's a real mixture of people that are really distinctive and unique and iconic. Yeah. But iconic for the right reasons, is that they're actually doing it because they love doing it. It's not just artists just wanting to make a quick buck or wanting to be famous. It's actually people that are spirited.
It's artists that are still doing it. Yeah, artists.
Which is great, because you've put them all on one album, and it's almost like you've got this hybrid of different personalities, and they're all very unique and different in their own way as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've always said all along, even way back in the days of the other bands, that everybody's record collections are all very kind of diverse, you know. No, I mean, anybody that has a very genre-specific record collection is really boring. You know, we all have very kind of like... we all have very diverse, wide musical tastes, and that's usually through a record collection. And I suppose that this album is kind of a taste of what I'm into, you know, what the things that have turned me on.
Yeah.
And you know, that's why I say it's kind of like curating an art show. That's what it felt like when I was putting the whole thing together.
I just want to see this live now, because I can just imagine all the artists on stage with you just promoting it. Is that going to happen? Is that something that's likely to happen? It's quite ambitious, isn't it?
The album out. God,
I want more already.
I feel like all this pressure going on. Yeah. You've got to do tours now. It's like, oh.